Tonight, on the PureCloud Community's Q&A show, the end-of-year holidays, a time for rest and relaxation, or scheduling nightmares? We are joined by some of PureCloud's technical support engineers who will share some best practices to make sure your holiday scheduling configurations don't wind up on anyone's naughty list. Then we head into the community to answer some of the scariest questions imaginable. Can our team provide some much needed guidance? Or are these questions cursed? And finally, we discuss an upcoming Ask Me Anything event, where the same tech engineers that you've seen on this episode will be on hand in the PureCloud community to answer your pressing questions. And it all starts now on Unsolved Mysteries of the Genesys community. Once upon a PureCloud forum, there were some questions without a quorum, and no George to answer their honest cry. I was defeated, nearly weeping, when suddenly there came a greeting. News of new experts with years of experience and the most wizened eyes. I must find these experts, I told Cole. I must find these technical guys. If nothing else, we have to try. Off to my computer I flew, and in the darkness of my room, I joined the most lively of Zooms. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm really looking forward to this episode.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really cool. Normally I just have one guest, but today we decided to double down, answer some questions about holiday scheduling or just setting up your PureCloud scheduler in general. And we didn't need one expert, we needed both of you to tag in on this. So cool. Adam, Gage, let's start with Adam. Maybe you can just talk a little bit about your role at Genesys.
Yeah, so my name's Adam Firestein. I work on the care team. I'm one of the senior analysts here, and my 2-year anniversary was yesterday. So, yeah, I've been here for 2 years, working on PureCloud. And, yeah, we just kind of do the PureCloud thing over here and kind of try and fix stuff, make stuff work for people, you know.
Awesome. Congrats on the anniversary. Sorry, I didn't get you a present.
I'm not mad at you.
It'll be very late when it finally arrives.
You owe me a drink later.
All right, I'm happy to do it. All right. Darth Gage, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
Doing very well. How about yourself?
Cool, doing well. Go ahead and talk to us a little bit about your role.
Yeah, I'm Gage Decker. I've been working for Genesys for about 4 years now. I am on the API and integrations team as well as architect and routing for PureCloud. So my role is pretty much anything with integrations or anything with ACD.
Awesome, very cool. Always nice to have a niche. When we start these episodes, I have some icebreakers, and I like to put them in this bowl here. They all come in from our customers. I like to pick one semi-randomly and then ask it to our panelists. All right, this week's question comes to us from Bud. Bud wanted to know, are waffles just pancakes with abs? Are waffles just pancakes with abs? And feel free to get as technical on this answer as you like.
That's
Adam,
a tough
we can
one.
start with you, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Let's see. I would probably have to agree with them, to be honest. I mean, now that I'm like visualizing it and picturing it, like just a nice 6 or 8 pack on, a pancake. I mean, that's essentially a waffle,
Mm-hmm. All right, Gage, what do you think?
Yeah, I too also agree. That does make sense to me. So, yeah.
A nice chiseled pancake,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So.
I don't know what the right word is. I was thinking like a waffle might just have a better syrup reserve system, like creating some wells within itself, like nice irrigation.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
thinking, but yeah, we could go with the fitness route. That's good. That's
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Why not both?
Yeah.
good. Right. Well,
Yep.
cool. Well, guys, I know we've been planning this episode for a while because the holidays are upon us. I don't know if you can tell. I've subtly dedicated my shelf here to one of my favorite
Yeah.
holiday
Nightmare
movies.
Before Christmas. Very good movie.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
I saw that one in theaters when it came out a while ago. And but I know we wanted to talk about holiday scheduling because it could really cause some problems this time of year. And you all were nice enough to share some best practices for people who may be setting things up for the first time. So Adam, what do you think? Do you want to get started? Maybe walk through a couple of configuration tips and tricks?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and just create something here. And, obviously it gives you different options. Say, let's make that for tomorrow. And obviously, different times and things like that. A big thing that, maybe not a big thing, but I've seen customers kind of forego or forget to add like an all-day toggle or something like that, especially for holidays, that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and just add this guy here. And there's my test schedule there. So we'll go ahead and jump over to schedule groups here. Obviously, we have a bunch of already ones made, but as you can see, we can add, the open, the closed, the holiday to said schedule group. So pretty basic stuff, nothing too crazy. That's really kind of my overview.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna just real quick, Darth Gage. I know you wanted to talk about a bug that's come up related to scheduling that we think people should know about. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So I do want to mention to anyone who has created a schedule before or at least during April 2019, we do want to recommend that you guys do toggle the all-day toggle for that schedule, save it, and then untoggle it, or vice versa. I'll show you guys quickly on a share what I mean by that. In this case, I leave it up to the admin of the PureCloud organization to determine roughly when they have created that schedule. My suggestion is if you're uncertain, please make that toggle change as soon as you can. So this way your holiday schedule or any schedules are, not affected by this issue. So for example, I've got my Black Friday schedule here. I've just set this to November 29th from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, your settings for your schedule may vary depending on what kind of business you are. So if you're in retail, you may be open during Black Friday, or, if you're maybe government or something like that, you might be closed. So again, this is really dependent on your organization and, the kind of schedule that you have for that organization. What I wanted to mention here is the all-day toggle. So any schedule that was created before April or, around April 2019, please toggle this on and then toggle it off. Make sure to save in between. So if you had it off like I did before, you would want to toggle it on, click save, come back to the schedule, toggle it off, and then click save. So as you noticed, this was the Black Friday schedule that I mentioned. You can, in fact, have multiple schedule groups. So like, for example, in our test organization, notice that we've got the multiple A test schedule. We could, in fact, add the holiday schedule to the schedule if we wanted to. So this way it could be tied to, Black Friday, for example. So you can quickly make a schedule group or an additional schedule group and just associate it with whatever holiday schedules you have, and then assign that accordingly. You can assign whatever schedule group you have to that specific IVR that you have. again, all of the schedule stuff is within PureCloud itself. It's not actually within Architect that you can, set up these schedules. So we do have documentation in the Resource Center on how to go about doing that if you have questions.
Perfect. Well, gosh, guys, I think that was a pretty good introduction for some of these people who may be taking their first foray into holiday scheduling. What do you think? Did we miss anything? Anything else you want to cover real quick?
I think that's pretty much the gist of it, to be honest. It's just, just being aware around the holidays, if you have holidays coming up or, days that your organization or your office are closed or things like this, being cognizant and vigilant of any changes that you need to make, that sort of thing.
Cool. All right. Well, guys, I think the easy part is behind us. Gage, you weren't nearly as scary as I thought you would be, and I hope the questions coming up aren't that scary either. What do you think, boys? Should we hop into the community and answer some questions?
Yeah, sure.
So this first question that I have comes to us from a longtime user of the community and someone I sadly haven't seen as much recently. And let's go ahead and hear from Erin. Erin wanted to know about agent auditing. She said, I had a request from a manager who has a team that tries to dodge work. Can you imagine? Is there a custom report or audit in PureCloud or in the App Foundry that would allow a manager customer activity while logged into PureCloud? The activity for ACD and non-ACD is useful for when they are on the phones, but this is strictly for the users who are great at wasting time. The team itself is mostly outbound and have very little inbound. Thanks, Erin. What do you all think? Any advice for our friend?
Yeah, I know she's mentioning, activity for ACD and non-ACD, and we do have a functionality in PureCloud where we do call monitoring or live agent monitoring, as we refer to it. It would be pretty difficult because we really don't have any particular functionality, to monitor agents outside of that. I know we do offer some reports on, maybe their agents they might abuse the break status or an away status or something like that. We do offer, PureCloud does offer reports to show like times and agents and stuff and when they make those changes and how often it happens and how much time they're in those statuses, that kind of thing. Really, we don't have an out-of-the-box solution for Erin. I do know that there are third-party softwares online where, you might consider, to record, maybe somebody's screen or activity on their workstation, that sort of thing. So that's definitely an option. So.
Gotcha. Nothing like that in the App Foundry, though, that we're aware of.
Not at this time, no.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, Erin, we hope that was helpful, and you got 2 experts for the price of 1, not 2.
We'll buy one, get one free.
Black Friday, indeed, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and check in with Reginald. He wanted to know about SIP trunk not registering. He writes, hi all, I'm in the process of configuring an external trunk, more specifically an SIP trunk that uses authentication. I have entered all required info, but the trunk is not registering and I'm getting a 404 error. He included an image here that I'm going to share with you.
Okay.
What do you guys think? This may just be one of those things where he needs to open a ticket, but maybe based on this image, you can see something to help him out.
I'm not a telephony, configuration SIP guru or anything like that, but open the ticket, absolutely. So it would be good to know like what stage they are in their implementation. Maybe they're in a proof of concept or a UAT or something like that. Would be helpful to know. A lot of the times with like the screenshot that he provided, we can pull out some degree of information, especially that response code, that 401. The different HTTP responses would kind of give us some insight on, hey, when they're trying to, save that trunk, it's going to go against our API endpoints. We're going to send a request to say it's changed. But depending on that response, we should be able to pull some level of detail. Maybe he's an unauthorized user, doesn't have permission to do so, or maybe there's some kind of malformed syntax when on that request, something like that. But yeah, beyond that, just general rule, that would be my suggestion.
I do have one additional thing to add to that. Since it is a 401, I do want to state, making sure that the appropriate ports are open for your organization might be helpful. It's very plausible that the reason why you're getting 401 is due to ports not being open appropriately.
Yeah, and just real quick for Brian, I know we've covered ports a little bit in a previous episode of the Q&A show, but if you have something in particular that you would like for us to discuss or demo in the Q&A show, please write in. The email address is qashow@genesys.com. We'd love to make that a featured segment. So cool. Thanks, guys, for the advice. Let's go ahead and just do a couple more here because we are breezing through these. This next one comes to us from, I'm not sure how to say this name. This next one comes to us from Kyle. Kyle wants to know about chat closing when scrolling up. Does this happen to anyone else? And wouldn't you know it, he provided a nice little video.
Awesome, very helpful.
Huh.
Okay.
Not too scary. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, this kind of gets into my realm of specialty in PureCloud. My focus is on a lot of like user interface issues and different things in that realm. So currently, I am not aware of any bugs that are open with that kind of description or behavior. So I would say open up a ticket. And if we do, identify a legitimate bug, we can definitely get it up to the developers for review. Big thing with things like that I want to point out. Very, very helpful that he got that screen recording. With issues like this, especially important that we're able to reproduce these. And if, customers, partners, anything like that run into issues like this, it's really helpful if they can give us steps on how they reproduce it, detailed steps, so we can, try it in our lower environments and things like that. The key to these things, especially reproduce. So thank you for adding that video.
Cool. Awesome.
One thing I wanted to add.
Yeah, go ahead, Gage.
And Adam, this is also something maybe you can chime in on, but do you agree that it might be helpful if they have these? When you're reproducing that, we also recommend trying to provide us some logs as well. In this case,
absolutely,
browser console log and network har file. So when you're creating a video of like something happening with the UI or user interface, it's also helpful to have those logs to be able to reference to see what's happening with the system. So giving those to us as well would be pretty helpful along with the video.
Let's go ahead and hit up one more. I love this name. We have a question coming to us from Roscoe, I think, and he wanted to know about using email.message.auto-generate an email flow. He writes, hello, has anyone been using built-in variable email.message.auto-generate an email flows? As described, it is set on true. Whether the email was generated automatically, for example, an out-of-office reply. But I was testing create a switch case in email flow, but that did not go through. That switch, although the email message was auto-generated, I have opened a case in support, but no reply so far. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Is there anything specific that should be set? Or is there some limitation for using the variable in the flow or anything else? And then again, we have another image here that I'll just kind of go through. Let me know if you want me to focus in.
Okay. Yeah, we appreciate the image, absolutely. I think it would be helpful if we had, maybe an image on where he configured those in the flow, the different variables and stuff like that. I think, it would be helpful if we had more context on his use case, and like especially maybe maybe, if we could take a look at those flows, we might be able to provide some better information.
Nice. Let's go ahead and just do one more here. It comes to us from Angelia. Angie, yeah, you all are familiar with Angie. And she wanted to know about top-down on recording policies. Angie writes, we are noticing that policies may be evaluating on a top-down basis. Is that an accurate assumption? We will need to rename our policies to make this follow what we will need, if that is the case. Has anyone else noticed this? For instance, we have a policy named France. It is first on the list. It records certain cues, then deletes after 160 days. Then there is a policy named record all that records all and deletes after 365 days. This policy seems to be overriding the first policy. What do you guys think? Any advice for Angie?
Interesting. Yeah. I don't have an immediate answer for Angie. I'm not aware of recording policies overriding, or I don't want to say overriding, but like enacting in any kind of alphabetical order or anything like that. Recording policies are usually pretty straightforward. But yeah, I would say if Angie, if you don't have a case, then you better put one in.
Yeah.
I assume she knows how to do it at this point. If you all.
Oh yeah, she's a pro.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't think there's any, like I said, that I'm aware of, that like recording policies, which it chooses first. Like recording policies, in a general sense, PureCloud kind of records everything in the background, and the recording policies are what delineate what it gets rid of, that kind of thing. So that's just by recording policy basis, but
Well, guys, one of the reasons we really wanted to have you on the episode today is I know coming up on November 13th, we have an AMA dedicated entirely to holiday scheduling. This episode is great because you kind of gave our audience a taste of what's involved with scheduling, and then we'll have this open time where you all and another teammate or two will be in the community to answer questions. So, that being said, what kind of questions are you hoping come in from customers? Anything in particular that you enjoy looking at when it comes to, interacting with customers in the queue that you guys manage?
Really, sky's the limit. And so if you guys have questions, go ahead and ask. So yeah, pretty much we're interested to hear, any specific questions that you have about holiday schedules in general, schedule groups. Really doesn't matter. I mean, we did make you guys aware of the bug. Again, please toggle the all-day toggle on your schedules that you created, before or during April 2019, just to make sure that things are routed properly. But other than that, if you guys have any other questions, we can definitely guide you in the right direction. So let us know.
Yeah, like Gage said, we're pretty much open books over here. So sky is the limit. So yeah, just throw at us whatever you guys got, and we'll try and be as helpful as we can.
Cool. Awesome. Let's see here. Anything else you think people should know leading into the AMA or whatnot?
Only other suggestion I might have is, at least with scheduling, try to keep things simple. I recommend, don't try to make a Rube Goldberg machine out of your schedule groups. It's just going to be confusing. So if you keep your scheduling simple, you're going to have a much better time of, making sure that your schedules are active and appropriate for the holiday or, the closing time or open time that you have. So the less, the better is usually my practical advice in this case. So that's something that I just want to mention to everybody out there.
Cool. Awesome. Adam, what about you? Anything else you want to add?
Oh, no, not really. I mean, Gage kind of nailed it. I mean, if you can help it, keep things as simple as possible. More than likely, you'll have run-ins with us. So
awesome. You guys are heroes. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I know this episode was a little unorthodox because we've been trying to do something special or fun for
the witching hour, Halloween time. Thank you all for playing along with the structure that we have. And I really hope you get to come back soon. It's been a real pleasure answering and talking about this.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Matt. We appreciate it.
Yeah, terrific.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, enjoy your Halloween, and I'll see you in November.
Thanks for tuning in for this week's episode. We hope it was helpful and maybe a little bit entertaining. Each week, our hosts and experts review community discussions and debate what content to discuss, so your voice matters. Do we miss something? Do you have a question for the show? Let us know. Join the conversation at the Genesys online community. As a Genesys customer or partner, you can create an account. Just click the sign in button found on most pages and follow the necessary instructions to create an account. Also, feel free to email us at qashow@genesys.com. We'd love to hear from you. If this is your first episode, welcome. You can view our entire archives. Go to the Helpful Links panel found on most community pages and find the QA Show archive that interests you. We appreciate your support of the show and the community. Cheers!